On today's show, I tell you exactly what you should be charging for this. In fact, it's not me, it's Monique from House of Monroe who actually created it. Stay tuned. Hello, Greg from Balloon Market here, and welcome to BMTV with the squeaky floor. Yes, and as you can see, we are joined once again by Monique from House of Monroe. Hello.
Hey.
Oh, we're dancing. We're dancing. Well, Monique is dancing. Welcome back.
Hi.
Nice to see you again.
Nice to be back.
And we've got no table today.
There's no table today, guys.
Because we are looking at props. Now, you've got some hints and tips and ways of doing things that you want to talk through with everybody.
Yes.
But to start with, tell us about props. First of all, you don't own these, do you?
No, I don't own these.
You can hire them.
Yes.
Talk us through what you do when you're creating something with props like this.
So I've hired these props. I feel like it's super important to build relationship with suppliers. When you build relationship with suppliers, they tag you, you tag them, and it brings what you do to a bigger audience. So I enjoy working with suppliers. So what we're going to do is create a garland display around this, and it's wedding season, so we are creating an I do.
I thought it was I do, but it's I do.
It's I do. And then I'm just going to be going through what I do. Like my tips and tricks to give you some ideas on how to put your displays together. Okay,
so before we actually get to doing it, talk us through exactly what you're thinking now. So you've got your attachment points, that's obviously a key thing.
Yes, so when working with LEDs in particular, these are the few attachment points I'll be using. I might not be using all of them.
That's a really good idea. I'm going to stand behind here with you.
I might not be using all of them at any given point, but I'll talk you through as and when I might use one. So if you have a supplier that allows you to use attachment points on their products, on their services, I like to use the H method. When I'm creating my displays, I like them to sort of like hug, I like them to come over. You can obviously do your designs always being from behind, but if you do want them to sort of like come over and to stay and not drag back, that's a great technique there.
Shall I show the next one?
Yes, you can show the next one.
So it's kind of like this one, but it's attached to the back.
Yes.
Ooh, so you've just attached that to part of the
part of the LED. So you could go in with a command hook. If you were attaching, even if they were your own numbers or they were a supplier, not to cause any permanent damage, I would use a command hook. If you'd like to use an Amazon or an outdoor hook, just make sure you protect your surface first. You can stick your outdoor hook on top and you can do that from behind.
And whilst we're here, we have this stand that we sell at Balloon Market. And what's this for?
Okay, so sometimes not always are your letters going to be up against a wall or have a support of a wall or a backdrop. So if you're going up high and you want your balloons to have that support, you want to support it from the back. So this is a great use for that. Okay,
and you were saying earlier on, if you're not allowed to have anything attached at all, you might use that as well.
You might use this as well, 100%.
Okay, now I see something else down the front there.
Yes. So I know most or often artists can complain like they've done their display and the balloons are starting to kick up. If it's an outdoor display, the odds are you might get some movement. If your display is in a tight area as well and you've got clients and their guests walking past, you don't want them to interrupt your display. So you can go in with a heavy water weight, or depending on what surface you've got, you can go in again with some frog tape and then use the outdoor command hook on top, and then that will weight down or keep your balloon structure in place so there's no movement.
What else can go wrong? What else would you do to ensure things don't go wrong?
So if you're an artist like myself and you like to put florals on your display, that's going to add additional weight to your display. So again, if you're allowed, doing the H method is going to help stop that. It doesn't matter sometimes how loosely you attach your 260s. It's just gravity. It naturally just wants to pull them down, the display back. So using that method and then going in with the oak tree stand, which is what I like because it's retractable. So if I wanted it here at the back, perfect. If I was working with just this and I wasn't going high, but I wasn't allowed to use attachment points, it's just quickly when you're on site setting up, I can adjust that height so that it's, when I build my garland up, you're not going to see it, and then go over the top. And if I need it to be high, it can be high.
Okay. And you were also talking about using fishing line. When would you use that?
So again, so this would almost be in place of this method. So if you wasn't allowed to have attachment points, and you couldn't even do that if they wouldn't even allow you to use frog tape, you could use the oak tree stand to support your structure here. And then you could come over the top, and then you could use fishing line by using that to attach over your balloons and around, because it's a very thin line, and it won't be, when you sort of like photograph or your client's photographing their work, it's not going to be visible. And then that's a good alternative if you've got a client or a product or a prop that you're just not allowed to attach anything to.
All right, fantastic. I think you should make it happen.
Okay.
So I'm going to leave you to it.
Yes.
We're going to speed through it,
Love
and then
that.
I'll be back to ask you a few more questions.
No problem.
All right. Wow, you did that quickly, didn't you?
I did.
That was amazing. This looks absolutely fantastic. It's great. So you had the garlands.
Yes.
You had those already made.
Yes.
Using the standard sort of technique similar to what you showed us for the teeny tiny garland.
Yes, I used necktie and the necktie technique.
Okay. And talk us through what else you've done. Have you used the pole behind there?
So all the methods that we talked about, I've incorporated into this one.
Okay.
So this section here is attached to the H method, because I put florals in that can make it a bit more weighty, and I've gone high, so I've supported it behind with the pole.
Yeah.
This cluster is nice and flush to the floor. It's attached to our attachment point that we had on the floor.
Okay.
I've added a water weight in there to make sure that stays nice and weighted down.
Yeah.
And the garland's supported with the attachment points at the back.
Perfect. Okay, Monique, what colours have you got here?
So for this display, I've gone with the lovely lace.
Okay.
Tough Tips lace, they're cameo, and they're very beautiful new golden.
It is stunning. And you've added, I mean, you've not added too much floral. Would you add more than this normally? Would you, or is that a good amount?
I think it all depends what the design requires. The design, the occasion, whether it requires more or not.
To me, it looks perfect. It
But
looks
yeah.
absolutely amazing.
So
I like this bit hanging down as well.
We just want to make sure that we're framing certain areas. So I framed in the centre and I framed up there, and I think all of that draws your eye. When I'm creating my designs, we want to come in.
Yeah.
We want to bring up, which is like the wow factor, and then we want to come out. So they go, oh my God, that's lovely. That's amazing. And that's kind of like how I think about when I'm going through.
You mentioned wow factor there, and that's a term I've been using a lot because I think a lot of people are getting pricing wrong.
Yes.
And they might look at, okay, what materially, what does this cost? You've hired the props.
Yes.
You've got the balloons. There's probably what, a couple of hundred balloons total?
Yes. So I think sometimes this is really important. When a client comes to you and if their budget doesn't match, but they want a full wall design, like I do, and I want a full wall, but their budget isn't there, don't feel obligated to give them the full wall and reduce it. You can still give the illusion of having it full, but with just a few garlands, as long as you're putting them in the key areas, because there's still a lot of spaces going on, but because the garlands are in the key area, it feels like they've had a full balloon wall.
I think that's interesting because a lot of people out there might think, okay, I'll give you what you want, I'll charge you what you want because I'm going to get some photo opportunities out of that. And you think that's probably a mistake, don't you?
I think it depends how you go about it. If I wanted photo opportunities, I would be, and for example, and it was a wedding, I wouldn't be discounting or giving something 50% off or doing something free for an actual client. I'd be looking for a free wedding fair.
Okay.
Get a free wedding fair, I'd be looking to go into a hotel and trying to build a relationship with that hotel. Hi, I want to be a recommended supplier. I would love to do a display in your foyer, or do you have any open days coming up? And let that be your photo opportunity.
Yeah.
I personally coming into the business refrained from giving items discounted, heavily discounted or for free to potential clients. Because I just felt like if they came back and I gave them a £300 setup for free or even at cost.
Yeah.
So those products cost me £80. I just felt they were going to be like, so how did that £80 now generate £300? I know what it does. It's my time, it's my labour.
Yeah, exactly.
But I feel like that's just difficult. I'd rather, I don't know, go to a business and try and build that rapport and get my photographs that way.
I think you're absolutely right, because you give it away one time, and then if they come back and say, well, you did it for, say, we talked about what you would charge for this, and you told me you'd probably be pricing it at between £500 and £550. I think that's great. And if you look at the cost of the materials, it's not that, and the hiring, the thing, it's not that at all.
Yeah.
And this is what I've talked about before with you, is that how do people get past that mental block of being able to just, okay, it cost me this much, I'll add a bit.
Yeah.
They need to get beyond that. But if you were to charge this at 350, say, if somebody does come back and say, well, you were able to do it before, why can you not do it again?
Yeah.
You've lost out. So I like that. You can always work to people's budget, can't you? You can do, as you say, do something that, so if they wanted a huge wall behind there, you just, okay, I can't do that, but I can, as you say, add a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just sketching it out. Sometimes, if you just sketch it out, if they're like, but no, their vision is, I want a full wall. If you sketch it out and say like, okay, your budget doesn't really allow for a full wall, but I can create this for you and give them a visual, 9 times out of 10, you're going to lock in that deal anyway.
Yeah,
they're going to be wowed anyway, because they're going to be like, oh, I didn't realise reducing it a little could still give me the same effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about, we talk about the wow effect. What else do you do to wow people? Is it, from a customer service point of view, do you give people, how do you communicate with people? How do you form that trust?
So I think, it's all about the language and it's how we speak to our customers. We want to make our clients feel like they're the only ones in the room, like they're the only one on our books and they're the most important person. So I would be honoured to style your wedding. Like, we can't wait to be a part of your special occasion. I offer like a discount for like customer loyalty. So as an incentive, they book on once, they get like a discount on another service as long as I have a minimum spend for that, but they can redeem that. And then if I feel like that client has then become loyal, then that can also, like, that could be like a lifetime discount. I don't feel like it affects me as a business, because it's not like they're going to come back every week, and that discount does have a value. It's like a £300 mark. So as long as you're hitting that, you'll get a discount. But if not, like, I would happily, like, if I was doing a setup and they needed a cake plinth, like, I could put that in.
Yeah.
Potentially, if it was a big setup but they didn't want florals, but I knew I've got the florals, I could add that in. But we don't want to be continuously always giving something when that loyalty hasn't been like almost earned.
And that's the other thing as well, is you said about, add some florals in. You hire these out because you're going back to pick up these props. So you can give some florals. It's not 100%. Costing you a single penny more.
So for example, I hired these letters and I was only being asked to do the balloons, and I felt like the deal breaker was me adding the florals. I might not want to do that, because I got to think, well, me just going to the balloons is 2 trips. That's 2 travel trips.
Yeah.
But if I'm like, oh, I just want to secure that person and I'm just going to chuck in the florals for free, now you're traveling 4 times, because you could have walked away from that job and just done the balloons, but now you've got to go back and get your florals. So when you
But if you were going back getting these anyway,
if you were going back in,
it's perfect.
then that's the benefit. So I think people need to make sure it's actually in your benefit when you're doing things like that.
Or you have different florals that you're happy to essentially include, but then you're giving something away for free. But I do like the idea of, say what, I'll add florals, won't cost you anything more, but it's not going to cost you anything more, because you're just hiring them. So that's great. That's really good. And very, very impressive, I have to say. That is absolutely stunning. That does have the wow factor. I walked in and it's just, it's great. I do like to do that. I like to go out and come back and see what artists have created in the studio. And that absolutely blows my mind. It's great. Thank you so much. Anyway, as a guest on BMTV, you get to ask everybody the question of the week.
Oh.
Have you got one?
No.
Yeah, you've got to think of another one. Yeah.
I've got to think of another one. Okay, so what would be your go-to add-on for a wedding display? Would it be florals? Would it be adding in details, maybe some pearls, double stuffing? What would be your go-to for a wedding display?
Okay, what's your go-to add-on? Leave your comments down below on Facebook and on YouTube. Monique, thank you so much. This has been great. And thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't, please do, and hit the bell icon. You'll be notified every single time we upload a new show. Check us out on Instagram. Check us out on TikTok, where the fun stuff happens. And I can't remember what I say at the end, but anyway, be happy, be super, be fantastic. Have a great week. See you next time. Let's all dance. Yeah.